Hello everybody and welcome to the Adventures of Drawing. I'll draw a scene for you today using a variety of pencils, a smudging tool and an eraser. So without further ado, let's go right into this. Okay, I've got my scene prepared here and I'm going to go into the landscape. Just quickly before, let me set up a foreground right here and something in the midground, maybe like so. Okay, now let's just have some stuff going on here. Something in the background. Rather smaller movements back here. Back and forth. Just some left and right stuff. Just something going on back there. A little bit of detail. Every now and then. Something in here. Something right there. Something down here. And in here. In there. Okay. Give me a second to blow my nose. All right. Just before I started streaming, my nose started running. I don't have a cold or anything. I don't know where that comes from, but it's pretty incessant. Uh, Hopefully it won't bother me too much during the recording. Okay. Now for the midground, some larger movements in here. Maybe like so. Okay. Getting the edge up here. Make it more visible with the 3B pencil. And then add the detail. I quite like those soft waves that I put in there. So I'm just going to leave those. And let me add the foreground now as well. Just, I think that's going to do it. Maybe like so. Okay. The landscape's not the focus here. I want to draw another tree. Want to try something. And you sometimes see those trees where many branches have been cut off, and so it just goes into the sky like that, and it stops at some point. But it has a couple of branches that were also cut off. Maybe a second part of the trunk. Coming out right here. Maybe a little thinner at the top. Like so. Just a couple more branches. Maybe one going over to the side. Like this. One coming up right here. Another one crossing this part of the trunk. And then one up here. Okay. Today I want to give those branches some three-dimensionality as well. Not just the old, a little wider line. Today they get their own volume. Like this and up like that. Alright. Now let me erase this area and go on to the shading. I use the 3B pencil and let's go with the light from the left today. Just going along the bottom left areas with a line of this 3B pencil. Like so. This branch maybe comes out from a little bit inside, not directly from the side. Okay. Right there, and don't forget this one behind. Okay, now let's go into the volume. Extend the shadow area into the middle and a little bit beyond it. There's just something from the background right here. Let me get rid of that. Okay. Let me also get rid of this line and this line and this line. All the parts where the branches overlap with each other. think this one as well. Okay. All right, let's go up here, over here, for this one right here. And now you can see what I said 2 days ago, that you can see the branches coming out from the middle of the tree trunk if you make them three-dimensional. You see this light area of the branch against the shadow area of the tree trunk, and so you can see it more easily as opposed to if you just use a dark line for the branch. Okay, going up here and then going into those branches over here. Right here we have two shadow areas overlapping. In this very top section is what I mean, of the branch and the second part of the trunk. So here you can't really discern the branch from the trunk, but sometimes it's like that. Things overlap in ways where you can't really make out what is what. Oh. So that's totally fine. Okay, go in here and a shadow area right here. And I noticed I just made a line for the shadow area on the top of this branch. Of course, that's not the way we want it. Just erasing it, but not erasing it completely, makes it as light as a line in the light area, or a line that's the border of the tree to the left. Okay. I think I'm going to use the HB pencil to just go a little bit into the light areas. I don't want to leave it completely light. For a second I thought I'd maybe do it, but I think it needs to be a little darker. Makes it look more realistic, I'd say. Right there, like so. Okay. Now, of course, that's not all of it. I want to try something specific today. Now, what you will see if you see those trees where the branches are cut off is that new branches start to grow. And what I have in mind is just some rather straight growing branches. They don't follow the shape of the larger branches and the tree trunk. I've observed them to be just more or less straight, maybe a little bent, but mostly just straight. I'm thinking about what I did here, and of course I have to extend the shadow area of the tree here, because that's the branch going behind the tree trunk. Okay. Now I don't want to overdo it, because of course, oh, not of course, but I want some leaves on this tree, and I'm not sure if I already made a mistake by drawing so much of the trunk and the branches, but I'm going to see how it's going to turn out. Now if I only add leaves where there are those small branches, the tree trunk and the larger branches are going to remain. I have to somehow cover them up with the leaves, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Let's just see how this is going to work out. So what I noticed was that on those branches you can see the individual leaves poking out, at least if those branches poke out a lot. And in here it would more be like a volume like this. I'm really not sure how to add this volume right here. Let me maybe add a couple of leaves in here. Okay, now I have to get rid of this part of the branch and the small branches in the middle as well. Let me add those other leaves in here on the inside again, so we have this volume. And that's not perfect, but that's the approximation my brain comes up with right now. And it's a shame I have to erase most of those branches up here now, since I really do like them. I like the way the shapes of those turned out, but that's what it is. Okay, I'm going to have a rather big volume of leaves right here, and another one right there, let's say like this. Like so. And now I'm going to erase anything that's within those volumes. Oh boy. Let me maybe see if I can conserve a little bit of this right here. Maybe this is going to go away. this branch right here, and maybe that is going to remain. Let's see how this turns out. Okay, let me add some more subdivisions right here in the volume by adding some more outlines, a little bit in here. All right, now let's add some shading to those volumes. Of course, we've got a lot of shadow on the right side and just a little bit on the left. So I'm just going across and going across in the other direction, still with the HB pencil, down here in the lower areas. And to the right, maybe like so. Don't forget this part right here. I almost forgot it. All right. Okay, now switching to the 3B pencil. I'll make those lower and right parts darker like so. At the very edge, at the bottom right and right hand side, we've got the darkest shadows. So going in here, up there, down here of course, in here a little bit, in there and over there. Okay, now let me add the outlines of those volumes right here. Like that. Just want to make them a little bit more visible again. Down here and up there and down here. Let's have some more details in here. Maybe like so. Okay, and now let me give those leaves a value right there. Those are not completely blank, of course. Just quickly go across those. Oops. And now let me have a couple more leaves on those branches right here that stick out. Should have paid more attention to where those leaves go specifically. Maybe there's one on the left and one on the right side each time. But I don't remember that right now. So I just place them rather randomly right now. Make sure to not only make round shapes or leaf shapes. Sometimes you just see them from the side and then they're very flat like this. Okay. Now let's give those a value as well. Okay. Now for the shading of those leaves, I don't want to shade an area for each of those, so I'm just going to give the bottom right a darker outline just to indicate the shadow area in those leaves. All right. And there we have our scene for today. Let's clean up those edges down here. All right. There we go. Oh, maybe let's get rid of what pokes out up here as well, like this. Okay. Thanks for being here. I hope you like what you see. I hope it gave you something, some motivation to be creative yourself, or some inspiration for your creativity. Maybe it's just some background noise for you to get something else done. That's totally fine as well. If you find yourself coming back to the channel, please consider subscribing, give the video a like, and drop down in the comments to tell me what you think about what I'm doing here, or maybe give me some tips, whatever you like. Okay. With all that said, thanks again for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.